So in the previous class, we saw that errors, how we can identify, and what are all the type of errors that can come in, and how do we rectify it at a high level. Now let's get into some specifics, right? So as usual, if you have any doubts or clarifications, please send an email to me at babupriya@rediffmail.com, or you can also post your comments and views to the comment section on this video, on this class, right? So now, let's say, take the first example. I am in page 194, chapter 6, rectification of errors, trial balance and rectification of errors, from the class 11 book. Credit sales to Mohan, rupees 10,000, were not recorded in the sales book. Now this has to be accounted for. How do we account for credit sales? Means sundry debtors account debit. Let's Mohan account debit to sales account. So this is very simple entry, right? Very simple entry where it has to be processed, where we debit Mohan account and credit sales account. Now let's take the next one. Credit sales to Mohan, rupees 10,000, were recorded as rupees 1,000 in the sales book. Credit sales recorded as rupees 1,000 instead of rupees 10,000. So instead of processing an entry for 10,000 rupees, entry process just like Mohan account debit 1,000, sales account to sales account 1,000. This is what has got processed. Rather, actual entry should be Mohan account debit to sales account This should be, actual entry should be 10,000, right? 10,000. Insert 1,000 entries has been processed. So what should be the rectification entry? Rectification entry should be, we have to debit Mohan account to sales account. We have to debit Mohan account with the difference of 10,000. We have to difference of 10,000 minus 1,000. Yes. So we have to process an entry for rupees 9,000 by debiting Mohan account and crediting sales account. This is the rectification entry that needs to be processed, right? Hope students are following this, right? Entry should be for 10,000, whereas the sales has been recorded only for 1,000 rupees instead of 10,000. So now the rectification entry should be for the balancing amount. There is another way of doing it. Reverse this original entry by debiting sales and credit Mohan account, and then process a fresh entry for 10,000 rupees. This is also another way of doing it. Reversing the original entry that got processed incorrectly and then processing the correct entry. That is also can be done. When we reverse this entry, sales account debit to Mohan account 1,000 rupees, then the actual entry, the rectification entry should be for 10,000 rupees. Okay. Now here in this case, we have processed an entry only for the difference amount, right? 1,000 is already there. Now we are processing entry for another 9,000 rupees. Okay. Credit sales to Mohan 10,000 were recorded as rupees 12,000. This is an error of commission. They have wrong. Okay. So let's take credit sales for 12,000 has been, 10,000 has been recorded as 12,000. So original entry, actual entry, rectification entry. Let's put all these things here. Original entry is Mohan account, debit 12,000. Sales account, credit, sales account credit, sales account credit 12,000. And this is what has got processed. Whereas actual entry should be Mohan account debit 10,000, 10,000, sales account credit, sales account credit 10,000. This should be the actual entry. Now what should be the rectification entry? Yes, sales account debit for 2,000, Mohan account credit for 2,000. Because here in this case, Mohan account has been and sales account has been overcasted by 2,000 rupees. So reversal entry should be sales account debit to 2,000 to Mohan account 2,000. Right? Here it is in case of under processing. Instead of 10,000, it is processed as 1,000. And in this case, instead of 10,000, it's processed as 12,000. So rectification should be like this. Original entry, actual entry, and rectification entry. This should be very clearly mentioned while we process it so that we don't get ourselves confused. Let's get into the next one. Let's get into the next one. Let's get into the next one, right? Here, credit sales to Mohan wrongly posted to Ram account, right? So what is the original entry, what is the actual entry, and what is the rectification entry? Let's put that here. Credit sales posted here. What is the original entry? Credit sales to Mohan wrongly posted to Ram account. Entry process is Ram account debit 10,000 and sales account credit 10,000. But what should be the correct entry? So Mohan account debit 10,000, sales account credit 10,000. So what should be the rectification entry? Mohan account debit 10,000 to Ram account credit 10,000. Because in this case, it is mentioned here that in the correctly recorded in the sales book. So sales is entered correctly. You don't have to do anything. Whereas instead of debiting Mohan account, Ram account has got debited. So we have to debit Mohan account and credit Ram account so that Ram account becomes 0. Because it is an incorrect entry that is debited to Ram. So we have to credit Ram with 10,000 rupees and debit Mohan account with 10,000 rupees. We don't have to touch the sales here because sales is posted correctly. Okay, the rectification of error is happen only on the debit side. We don't have to touch the credit here because credit is processed correct here. Again, alternate way of doing it is reverse the original entry and process the correct entry. This is also a right way. When we say reverse the original entry, we will say sales account debit 10,000 and Ram account credit 10,000. This will reverse this original entry. Then rectification entry should be Mohan account debit 10,000 to sales account credit 10,000. Right? We are reversing this original entry because it is an incorrect process that has happened. So we are reversing it and then process the actual correct entry, Mohan account to sales account. Right? This is also correct approach. This is also a right approach. So students should not confuse. There are two ways of rectifying. One is reversing the original entry and processing the correct entry, or processing only the rectification entry without affecting the correct entry, right? So in this case, Ram is debited and sales account credited. Sales account credit is the right entry. Ram account debit is the wrong entry. So we are debiting Mohan and crediting Ram, right? This is one approach. Hope the students are clear. Come back to me for any doubts or clarification. Let's move on to the next one, right? Move on to the next one. Uh, Rent paid rupees 2,000 was wrongly shown as payment to landlord in cash book. Rent paid is an expense, right? Rent paid is an expense. So I'm copying this. Rent paid to landlord has shown been shown as payment to landlord. If the rent paid is through and creditors, it's not confused. So rent paid is an expense. Original entry, what has got processed is landlord account debit 2,000 cash slash bank credit 2,000. This is the original entry. What should be the actual entry? Rent paid is an expense. Rent account debit 2,000 cash or bank credit 2,000. Right? Debit all expenses and losses, rent account debit. Credit what goes out? Cash. Right? Or credit the giver, bank. So bank account. What should be the rectification entry? Yes. Rent account debit 2,000. Landlord account credit 2,000. Right? So hope this is getting more clear now. Because in this case, cash or bank is entered correctly. Okay. Payment to landlord in the cash book. So the effect of wrong posting has been like landlord account has been debited to cash account credited. Correct effect should be rent account debit to cash, and rectification entry should be rent account to landlord account. Okay, let's look into some of the test your understanding type of questions. Test your understanding. Test your understanding type of questions, right? Record the rectification entry for the following transaction. Credit sales to Ram Rajni for rupees 5,000. Make it bigger. Credit sales to Rajni for rupees 5,000 recorded in purchases book. Okay, this is an error of commission. And state the wrong entry recorded in the books of accounts. Okay, first just let's push this. Let's copy this. Credit sales to Ram for rupees 5,000 recorded in purchases book. So what is the original entry? It is a credit sales to Ram. What is recorded in is as a purchases book. So the entry recorded is purchases account debit 5,000 Ram account credit 5,000. Instead of taking it as a credit sales, it is considered as credit purchases. So purchase account debit 5,000 to Ram account is credit as 5,000. What should be the actual entry? Ram account debit 5,000, sales account credit 5,000. This should be the entry. So what you should do? There are two ways as we discussed. Either we can reverse this entry by debiting Ram account and credit purchase account and process this correct entry. That is what we are going to do. So we are going to do Ram account debit 5,000 and purchases account credit 5,000. Then Ram account debit 5,000 and sales account credit 5,000. Hope this is clear, right? Because we have to reverse. The other option is by debiting Ram account fully for 10,000. This also can happen. And the credit purchase account 5,000 and credit sales account 5,000. This is also a correct approach. But the recommended approach is this is how it should happen. The original entry has to be reversed and the fresh correct entry has to be processed. Hope students are clear on this, right? So we will continue with this. We'll continue with this and try to close this tomorrow in our class tomorrow. But I would advise to go through this one more time and come back to me with any queries or clarifications. So you can always send an email to me at babupriya@redifmail.com or put your comments onto this video and I'll come back to you soon. Thank you, friends, and have a great day.